Okay, so as a reminder, what you're looking at on the right now is one of the extra practice exercises. It's a proof completion exercise. Please, please, please don't feel like working additional practice is somehow uh, kind of just taking time away from doing, and completing an assessment. If you take the time to do this extra practice, it'll actually make your work more efficient in the long run because you'll develop your skills, I think, more quickly. All right, but like I said, let's go ahead and work a confidence boosting exercise. Okay, so bear with me for just a sec because I want to find the one. I didn't have the one that I want up. Let me find what I want. And as I'm looking through through my list of things I want to do, if you have a question, let me know. Okay. Okay. All right. So I hope you find this exercise will boost your confidence. Okay, let's talk strategy. First, let's talk about adopting, which and you can adapt the following process. Obviously, we look at the argument. We make sure we understand what we're looking at. So we read the argument. We say A is large or small. Moreover, it's small, not small, or it's medium. Therefore, it's large or medium, right? Now, you can probably see that one sentence, rephrase. You can probably see that the constituents of sentence one and the constituents of sentence two involve an implicit contradiction, right? So A is small contradicts the sentence A is not small, right? So we know that those two effectively cancel each other out, which means then that A is either large or medium. That's our conclusion, right? We also know that when we're setting up our strategy, we want the conclusion of our strategic subproof, that is our structuring subproof, our blueprint subproof, to be the conclusion of the argument itself. The question then is, well, which strategy do we use? Do we use disjunction elimination or negation intro? And the short answer is, well, you can use whichever strategy you want, but seems to me to make some sense to use disjunction elimination since each of your premises is a disjunction. So the question before you is simply a matter of asking which of the two premises you want to use as your structuring disjunction elimination sequence. And then the other one is going to be nested. Okay. First, does this talk through make sense?
Yeah, it helps.
You're okay. Yeah, Mike? Okay. Right. And again, don't be shy about messing about. If something doesn't seem like it's working, it may be the case that either you haven't seen the way forward yet, in which case you want to keep working backward, right? Because the goal, the conclusion, the termination of the argument is supposed to give you is supposed to serve as your guide for going forward. And it may also be the case that you've just made an error somewhere, but if you don't try, you're not going to know. Okay, so question for you guys. If you're comfortable with disjunction elimination, which one do you want to use as your structuring subproof? Line 1 or line 2? You choose.
Line 1.
Okay. So I'm going to assume A is large, and I want to conclude, therefore, that A is large or medium. Exit that subproof, begin the next. Remember, disjunction elimination is our structuring subproof. Assume A is small, and I want to conclude, therefore, that A is large or medium.
Professor?
What are you thinking?
So when you put that A is small, so I don't know if it's obvious. I'm still trying to like catch up, but you didn't put the negation in front of it. Is there a reason why?
Yeah. Good for you, Matt. So take a look at line 1 and then look at lines 3 and 5. Are you comfortable with the idea that now go to cast your eyeballs over to the disjunction elimination rule sheet? Do you see that we've taken the disjunction from line 1 and at lines 3 and 5 assumed respectively the left side and then the right side?
Yeah, I see now.
Good? Okay, good. So, and remember, one of the things that we can do is we could say, all right, here's my disjunction. Whoa, my annotation is going really slowly. And then here's some sentence, P, right? The left side of the disjunction. Then there's S. Then there's some sentence Q, the right side of the disjunction. And again, the goal, some sentence S.
Professor, so under line 5, are we going to further make another subproof for line 2?
Oh, Ivan, good for you. Yeah, okay, so now, let me erase. I'm still so excited about the way you guys taught me to erase things quickly. Okay. All right. So did everybody hear what Ivan just said? Whoops, hold on. Okay, so just to, Ivan, I'll come right back to your great question in a second. Is everybody clear then that at line 8, we've highlighted 1, what is currently our subproof sequence, right? 3 to 4, 5 to 7, and we're using disjunction elimination, yeah? Okay, so now Ivan says, effectively, don't we need within the subproof that we started at line 5 a further subproof? And you're right. Why are you right? Well, because we've got to discharge the subproof that we started at line 5, and we're not going to do that without some further assumptions. Another way to think about what you've asked, Ivan, is this. You've been given line 2, you got to use it, right? So use it here. Why? Because there's no way to get from line 5 to line 7 without making some further moves. So we assume the left side of the disjunction at line 2 And what do we want? We want the conclusion of the argument. And then we assume the right side of the disjunction at line 2. What do we want? The conclusion of the argument. So that we can get out of that nested sequence and say, as Ivan pointed out, look, in either case, whether A is not small or it's medium, it's got to be large or medium. So we have another disjunction elimination. And are you guys comfortable with the fact that we only need the second disjunction elimination sequence, that is the nested sequence, I should be more precise. We only needed this nested sequence in that second of the structuring subproof series. We didn't need it in the first. Thoughts? Oops. Come on. For some reason, my computer is moving a little slowly. Okay. Sorry, guys. My I don't know why, but my machine is moving, is just getting sluggish all of a sudden. And I'm not talking my way through this, notice. I'm wanting you to think through it yourself. Okay. All right. Now, let's look at what we've got. Everything checks out except line 11. Now, I see the error that I made. Why 11 doesn't check out, and it's not about line 11 specifically, right? So the question that I have to ask myself is am I getting this X because I've made a substantive error, which is to say I've messed up how I've structured the thing, I've messed up an actual derivation, or is it that I've got a typo and it's a typo, right? Now, the same is the case with the goal window, right? I inadvertently typed in a contradiction symbol, right? So think about that, right? When you're working, think about if you get an X, just sort of take a minute, maybe walk away, come back, and so that you can see how things went. In other words, where the error is, if it's a substantive error or really just a typo. All right, so now, how many of you agree, and there's no right answer, I just need to know how you're feeling. How many of you guys agree that the proof we just did boosts your confidence?